In India, there was political pressure as well as far as this story is concerned. Let me bring in Rajat Sethi, columnist, political analyst, who is joining us at this moment, president of the Aravali Forum. Thank you so much, Rajat, for joining us. We also have Aman Chugh. He's a chartered accountant and economist by profession. Rajat, let me start by asking you this. Do you believe that this is happening because there is pressure, there is investigation going on as far as Hindenburg is concerned? It's the shoot and scoot policy has backfired and now they have shut shop.
So, Ankit, I think it's actually a sad day for the investors who all got spooked by this firm sitting outside the legal jurisdiction of India and attempting to influence our markets. We fell for it, and we lost considerable amount of small investor money in this whole scenario. And it's a sad day even for the opposition. You tried to outsource your politics. You try to trust on international organizations and international agencies and departments of different countries instead of relying on your own Supreme Courts, our own research organizations or investigative organizations, and you shifted the focus of entire amount of investigation out of our country. And this is the day that we were all calling out even earlier. This firm couldn't even stand the scrutiny of a transition time when a new regime is coming in. In the US, there's a new government which is about to come in, and the Department of Justice has barely opened the books against Hindenburg research, just trying to barely understand what has Hindenburg been doing for the past 4 years. And we have been saying ever since for the past 2 years or so that the motives of this organization are suspect. The motives have been influenced by certain entities or certain individuals who want to derail India's growth story.
Okay.
Be it Adani or any other industrial group, that doesn't matter. There was somebody with sinister designs against the interest of our nation. And it was really unfortunate that the opposition of our country fell for institutions outside the country and did not rely and place trust on constitutional institutions of our own nation.
Okay. Aman Chugh, what does this mean for the investors? Like Rajat said, that it's a sad day that people fell for this. It only underlines that, rather than going by anybody who comes out with these kind of reports, such short sellers, whose entire motive largely seems to be making profit for themselves. That's what we have seen in the case of Hindenburg. Possibly they have made the kind of money that they wanted. And now your founder says that I want to spend some time with my family, go on holidays.
So Namaskar, Jai Bharat. It was not restricted to only making money. We had already discussed a couple of times on your channel as well that Hindenburg research went after all those companies or all those companies of the countries which were not aligned with the broad deep state agenda, including the companies like SC Vox or maybe Ideanomics. Then there was Mullen Auto or even Nikola, which was being discussed. Here, Adani was a target because the homegrown company of Bharat was rising, and that too establishing presence around the major strategic ports, locations of the world, where especially we know that water is the presence and water power is being required in the times to follow. To create unrest and topple government in Bharat, we have to understand that Indian demographies are different, unlike what demographies Sri Lanka has or Nepal has or Bangladesh has. And to create unrest by the deep state in India, the attack was to create on Adani and then make it a cascading effect upon the markets, the Bharatiya markets, which were flourishing well, so that the chaos over the investors' faith could also unleash, and also a cascading effect could also run through the banking sector. Maybe once you allow me with more time, I'll be able to speak on how the markets in the banking sector were also aligned with this deep state agenda around the Hindenburg report. Okay. and against Adani per se.
But Rajat, like these, allegations of conspiracy theory, deep state being involved, so and so forth, do you believe somewhere that by shutting shop, Hindenburg and the founders of Hindenburg are trying to evade any kind of justice being served or any kind of investigation? Can they still, be punished or hauled up? Do you believe that, there are systems well in place that Hindenburg founders can still face the music?
See, I have been saying this even on NDTV and multiple other platforms since day one, that the way American system is sort of instituted, that establishment is politically dependent. It's a spoiled system of postings and promotions in that. So if a Department of Justice is there, the Department of Justice has political appointees. So anything which is coming out of the Department of Justice could not have been seen without the political lenses. And this is what I have been always saying, that George Soros has a significant influence on the Department of Justice of the US. Now that there is a transformation, there's a new government coming in. Hindenburg is finding the opportune time to possibly run away and evade from the DOJ, because the DOJ's character is going to change significantly. DOJ made a statement that they are going to investigate what is happening inside Hindenburg Research. It is not only the Indians and Indian analysts calling out Hindenburg, it is also several important figures in the US who have called out Hindenburg's motives behind what it was publishing. And now they're requesting the new Department of Justice to go after them. And I believe it will be very hard for the entire group and the promoters of the Hindenburg group to evade these allegations, because there is significant amount of American investor money also invested inside Hindenburg Research as well. So I think the same sort of accusations that Hindenburg Group had against Adani Group, the same accusations they will have to sort of face over the next 4 years minimum.
Right. In conclusion, Rajat Sethi, you spoke also about the opposition and the people, those who had taken this as a gospel truth. What does this say about them now?
I have maintained this position that opposition should do the hard work of winning over the trust, instead of relying upon institutions and figures who are outside the country who might have multiple motives to stop India's growth trajectory. I mean, if you genuinely had any concerns about Adani's stock interference or stock manipulation, etc., present those evidences before the Supreme Court. You need to have trust on one of these Indian institutions. You cannot say that I do not trust the investigation, I do not trust CBI, ED, Supreme Court, High Court, nothing at all. And all that I trust is George Soros influenced appointments and appointees in the Department of Justice. What kind of an opposition is this? Till date, you have not presented a single white paper claiming that these are the issues of market exploitation or stock manipulation, etc., and presented those facts and figures before our Indian investigative organizations. And you've wasted taxpayers' money and derailed parliament sessions after parliament sessions. Can you imagine the amount of policy lag that India had to go through because of these issues which were raised each time the parliament session was called in and there was some tweet coming in from Hindenburg Research Twitter handles? See, this is what I'm saying. India has lost significantly over the past 2 years that this nonsense was carrying on. And opposition should be very mindful that in the future, they should India's interests.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we'll leave it there and we'll keep discussing this story in further details as well as the market short